Hey everyone, you're watching Build Series. I'm Lauren Moraski from HuffPost. You know Nancy Grace as a legal analyst and an outspoken advocate for victims' rights. The former prosecutor was the star behind her own CNN headline news show and is also a New York Times best-selling author. Now she's the executive producer behind the Hallmark 3-part limited series, Hailey Dean Mysteries. Take a look.
Completely changed. He closed off. He only relaxed when he was trying to sell me on his landscape company.
Then you think he does remember the story?
I can't say for sure, but there is definitely something from that time that he would rather forget.
Police being extremely tight-lipped in the Will Morgan murder case, and that can mean one thing only. They finally got something. Advice? The cops are onto you. You can run, but you can't hide. True.
Wow.
Nancy
Grace is really paying attention to this case.
We can use all the help we can get.
Any luck?
Not really.
Well, I've had some. Atlanta State recently digitized all their back issues. I've got everything from Emma's time in the newspaper.
Still 4 years worth of issues.
I'll do it.
Please welcome Nancy Grace. Hello. Nancy, thank you so much for coming to Build today. We're so excited to have you here.
Thank you for inviting me.
Yeah, it was so nice to see you do a little cameo in your own series. You're the executive producer behind it. It's based upon your own best-selling book series. What was it like turning the book into a television series like this? Because it's not the first time you've done this with this series.
Well, let me tell you how it started.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm a crime victim. My fiance was murdered before our wedding. And my dreams of becoming an English literature professor, my whole world exploded. Okay, I dropped out of school. I lost down to 89 pounds. My mother had to stop the clocks from ticking in our house because I remember it would drive me crazy following Keith's murder. I finally went back to school with the goal of going to law school and becoming a felony prosecutor. I did that in inner city Atlanta, nothing but felonies for 10 years. And when my elected district attorney retired, he was like a grandfather to me. I didn't know what I was going to do. So I had been offered a job with Court TV with Johnny Cochran, the late, great Johnny Cochran, and had actually turned them down. I don't know what I was thinking. So when Mr. Slayton retired, I called him back and went, hey, you know that show? I'll do it. And I moved to New York with 2 Chifferow boxes of clothes, a curling iron, and $300. What could go wrong? So that is when I started writing Hailey Dean Mysteries, because Johnny would go out because he was, you know, the toast of the town after OJ, not to me, but to everybody else. And he would go out to parties and soirees and high-powered dinners, and I would go home to my apartment and miss the courtroom. I started writing about Hailey Dean. So I never even thought it would turn into a book, much less a New York Times bestseller for a girl that grew up on a red dirt road where her grandfather dug the well so we would have water. I mean, I couldn't believe it, much less a movie on Hallmark. So, you know, it's just huge blessings.
And it's kind of loosely inspired by you, this story line.
Well, I wrote what I know about.
Yeah.
And I don't know about a lot, but I know how to try a murder case. And I know how to investigate a murder case and all things forensic. And that's my world. So that's what I write about. And the characters are combinations of people I've met, cases I've seen or tried or investigated, or judges I knew, and they're all a mishmash. And usually I know at the beginning who did it. Then I have to start at the beginning and right to the end.
Yep. And this movie series stars Kelly Martin
I love
and
her.
Chad Lowe. I remember them from Life Goes On growing up. That TV show.
I knew her from Mystery Woman because I was pregnant.
Yeah.
I had a very difficult pregnancy. I got pregnant very late in life. And I was watching her one night when I got taken to the emergency room in Florida.
Whoa.
I didn't give birth that time.
Yeah, yeah.
But I was watching Mystery Woman. So when I had the first meeting with Hallmark, which let me tell you, trying to get a lot of people in LA in one room together, that is hard.
Yeah, sure.
So and I started gushing about, I love Mystery Woman. And I didn't even realize that it was Kelly, but I knew what she looked like, and that's how she became Hailey Dean.
Amazing.
Isn't that crazy?
What's it like working alongside them in a TV series like this?
I love it.
Yeah.
I love it. And we have a good time. And Hailey, Kelly and I bond over our children. 'Cause she had just given birth during the last movie. She's still breast pumping on the set, putting it in the fridge and sending it home. Wow. From Vancouver. Good times. Okay. So we talk about our children a lot and about Hailey a lot. And so I love it.
And you play yourself which is not hard to do.
This time I did. Now, one time I was a defense attorney. And another time I was a rude receptionist, which I loved. And then I was a rude waitress, which I also loved. So it was fun.
Are you working on any other books right now?
Yes,
Really?
I'm this close to
Okay.
finishing one.
Is
I
it-
got to kill a few more people and then solve it.
Well, is it part of the series or?
Yes.
Okay, okay.
Yes. Now, these are original screenplays that I have an idea, me and our other producers, and then we all work on it because I can't write a book fast enough for them to take just the books. It's taken me over a year to write this one book, but I can come up with a screenplay idea and then work with them, and then we turn it into a script, which is awesome fun.
Oh my goodness.
It is.
You are a busy
Oh, and we
woman.
get into it too. I'm like, oh, I'll never forget in the series the first time they wanted Hailey to kiss on the mouth. I'm like, oh no, you didn't. And they're two guys. Okay, I'm like, you don't know what you're talking about. She is not about sex, men. That's not what this is about. Okay, this is Hallmark.
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
not the Playboy channel. Okay, Hailey is a murder mystery machine.
Yeah, she's solving it.
Yeah.
She was a former therapist, right? Or
She
she's
gave up prosecuting
Yep.
and became
she became a therapist. Yep, exactly.
And so we had a big, they won, by the way. She had the kiss right on the mouth. Right on it.
Amazing. Well, you're not only doing this.
And then once I saw it, I liked it.
yeah, and you're like, I'm on board. I can get on board with that.
No, I was complaining till the bitter end.
Okay. All right.
And then I finally agreed because it's two of them and one of me.
Yeah, you're outnumbered.
Yeah.
You're also doing an A&E series. Yeah.
Oh, I'm having the best time
Yeah,
beating
with
up on Dan Abrams.
Dan Abrams. You guys don't agree on a lot,
No.
right?
No.
I mean, and you go way back with him.
I knew Dan all the way back at Court TV. He was the icon at Court TV, him and Johnny, and I was the interloper. And but we knew each other way back then. We started with an argument on a legal panel. I was on the panel. He was in the audience with Court TV, and he agreed with everything Johnny said. I'm like, you know what? I don't like you. And that's how that started. But I actually secretly do like him. I'll tell you this about Abrams. His father is brilliant. His father is a great legal scholar that argues in front of the Supreme Court all the time. So, you know, the apple can't fall too far from the tree.
All right. So he brings something to the conversation.
does.
That's for sure.
He does.
What do you miss about the courtroom?
Everything.
Yeah, because it's been a while since you've been in the courtroom. Because you changed your career, really.
The instant gratification. Well, it's not instant, but when a jury comes back and they find a bad guy guilty and he gets put away, and I turn around to the victim's family, I mean, they can't go on after, say, their son has been murdered until justice has been sought. Then after that's done, they can move on. Many, many of them I have stayed in touch with and are very dear friends to me because you go through a lot. And every case I've ever had except one, the victim's family agreed that that was the perpetrator. The one where they did not agree, it's because it was the children's father, and they did not want to accept that he had killed the mother. And I got it. You know, it hurt me to go forward with the case, but I did what I had to do. So I miss knowing that I helped somebody and that I did the right thing. And, you know, and I like being in the ring, you know, bleeding, sweating, dirty, but still swinging and still trying to do the right thing. I do miss that, but I take the same message to a different jury.
I can even see you getting a little emotional about it now, just thinking about
Well, I
it.
was just actually just then, I was thinking about a guy, the defendant's name was Bruce Hodge, and Miss Leola Williams was his mother, and her son was killed over a $10 debt, just gunned down over $10. and he was the apple of her eye. And she just recently passed away. That's why I thought of her. And in court, she would come every day and knit. Okay? And I would look back at her, and she'd do like that for me to keep going and knitting. And she sat through the medical examiner testimony, the photos of her son in autopsy, the work. She never left. And she became such a dear friend of mine. She recently passed away, so I was just thinking about her.
Yeah. This is a very emotional stuff you're dealing with on a day-to-day basis. How do you kind of take a break or take a breather?
You know what?
Relax?
I did not want a breather. I was just a machine because I didn't care what happened to me after Keith died. I would put myself in the worst positions. If it hadn't been for my investigator, Ernest, who was portrayed, I gave him a new name, Garland Fincher. But Garland in this is very similar to Ernest. In the looks, in the way they behave, and eating burritos all the time. That is just exactly like Ernest. But if it hadn't been for him, I probably wouldn't even be alive because he got me out of so many predicaments. But I didn't want a break. I wanted to drink from the fire hydrant. It was just like that. After every trial, there'd be 150 new cases to deal with. Then I had the children. A miracle occurred. I had the twins. And they don't need a mommy that's strung out and sad and sitting out working till 2 and 3 in the morning on murder cases.
Yep.
So that made me stop and finally have joy.
And you feel like you have joy right now.
Oh, my goodness.
Oh, yeah.
It's the
Okay.
best thing that ever happened to me.
Wow. Wow. You know, through the years,
Of course, I will be going to college with them.
Yeah. How old are they now?
They're 10.
Okay. So they got some years.
Yeah.
But you'll be following them around, I'm sure.
I only have 7 good years left.
Oh, enjoy every minute of it.
Oh, I will.
You know, you've been involved in so many high-profile cases. I can't help but think right now about the Me Too movement and what's been going on with Harvey Weinstein. I mean, what's your take on that and what the future of Harvey's going to be?
Stop right there for a moment.
Yeah.
We all just glaze over it. Like, me too.
Yep.
Let's think about it a moment. Think about the actual violence of a rape. And people say, me too, or sex assault, harassment. It is a rape. Let's just call it what it is. It is violent. It is snatching your clothes off or beating you and raping you. And people talk about it like it's just a headline or it's just putting perfume on the pig. It is rape. And I want to know not only why he's out on bond, but what took so long to prosecute him. It's not just about him anymore. It's bigger than him.
Yeah, it's and the sheer number of women who have come out.
I'm going to be so disillusioned if I don't find out why everybody sat on their thumbs and did nothing while they knew about all of these women victims. That's what I want to know right now. I've got Weinstein figured out. He's going to jail. I don't care how good Brofman is. And if I was in trouble, I'd hire Brofman. He's the best criminal defense attorney I've ever seen. He's still going to jail. He's going down. But I want everybody that covered it up to go down with him.
Do you think he'll talk in court at all?
Weinstein?
Yeah.
Not if he has any brains, he won't. Just let him just get up there on the stand and say, I didn't invent the casting couch. Oh, that's not going to go down well at all. When he said that, I nearly did a backflip. I didn't invent the casting couch. That's your defense, that you didn't invent the casting couch. When those victims take the stand, everything's going to change. And you know, one of the victims in this particular case has remained anonymous. And I've had many, many rape cases I prosecuted without DNA. It was a he say, she say. And it can be done.
Speaking of the DNA, I mean, switching gears a little bit, I mean, since you started to now, the technology has changed, and the
I've been
forensic,
having a field day in court right now.
right? I mean, it's changed so much.
Ancestry.com, bring it on. I'm so happy about familial DNA. I don't know what to do. And I remember the first time I tried a DNA case, the scientist said, well, do you want me to bring all my findings. I'm like, bring everything. And they said, do you want to bring my slides? I'm like, bring it. I didn't know what I was talking about, because when you're looking at the slides or under the microscope at the matchup, it looks like Polaroid film that has gone bad. I went, and when I saw that, I'm like, take it down. Take it. I turned to Ernest. I'm like, get in there right now and get that out from in front of the jury. I don't know what that is. There was no way I could even address it, what it actually looks like to the untrained eye. Mm-hmm. Now I understand it. It still doesn't make a very good presentation. But cases have been proved many times without DNA. Now, the whole thing about familial DNA is absolutely admissible. And the Constitution can protect you from the state sneaking around and getting information without a warrant. They can't protect you from your second cousin writing in to Ancestry.com. Okay,
Yeah.
that's not going to work.
It's a whole new world out there. It
Whole new world.
really is. Between that, social media, the way we can uncover information is really unbelievable.
You know what else I love? Cameras at stop signs and red lights. Although I've been burned on that.
Yeah.
I love those. I mean, they get you at the toll roads. They get the tag grabbers that you pass on the interstate. Love them.
To what do you owe your success over all these years? Because you really were able to change careers and reinvent yourself and jump on different television shows, and now doing this.
Well, it's nothing I could have ever planned. It had to be planned out for me by heaven. Because, again, I can remember we lived in such a rural, and I guess some people would say underprivileged. I didn't think that at the time. They would come out with the bookmobile. You ever heard of that? To rural or underprivileged children. They think you can't read and you can't get a book, which may be true. And they come out, the library comes out with a van full of books. And I remember I loved the bookmobile because it had air conditioning. And I had never seen that or felt that in my life. I loved it. I would go out there and stay until the lady would say, Nancy, we have to go back downtown with the books now. I'm like, okay. And I would leave with my books, this many, and I would drag back to the house with them. So how could I, in growing up like that, have ever imagined that one day, I would get to have a movie on Hallmark and write books and even go to college? So I couldn't have imagined that. So somebody else had to imagine it for me.
Do you think, would you consider yourself a person who has a thick skin? Because I've seen you be on, people, ask you questions that are tough questions in interviews and everything, and they might say, oh, XYZ or about you.
Yeah, that's hurtful. I mean, of course it's hurtful. Even Superman got hurt. So, yeah, it hurts me, but that can't change what the truth is or what I'm here to do.
Is that,
if you listen to all of your detractors, you'd never accomplish anything. No dream would ever come true in your life because you give up. So I try not to listen to it. It plays out sometimes in my head.
Yeah.
But I quickly discount it and keep going.
What drives you every day?
Well, my children, I want them to be proud of me. And the other day, my son came home and went, so-and-so's mom is so cool. She works for Chick-fil-A, and they get free nuggets. I'm like, what could I possibly do to top that? Nothing. So they keep you pretty much down to earth. Nothing can top chicken nuggets, all right? So,
Those are the moments you got to cherish.
I keep going because I want to do the right thing.
Yeah. Yeah.
I still think about Keith every single day. Not a day goes past. And I want him to be proud when I meet him again.
Mm-hmm. What's next for you? What haven't you done that you want to tackle?
Stalk my children all the way through grad school. Okay. Don't laugh. You'll see, little girl. It'll be your turn
Yeah,
soon.
I know. It'll be my turn. I'll be doing the same thing.
And, just following the truth as I see it.
Mm-hmm.
Take no prisoners. Guns a-blazing.
I love it. All right, we're going to pause right there. We have some questions from the crowd because I know you have a flight to catch.
Yes,
You're
I
going
do.
to- you have a flight
That
ticket?
come to the twins. My nanny cam went down. I got to get home.
Yeah, there you go. All right, let's get to it.
Are these going to be mean? Okay, I'm prepared. Go ahead. What did I do?
What is the most memorable case in your career from the standpoint of the victims' rights?
You know what? I've been asked that many times. And that's like asking a mother, which is your favorite child? Because I've had famous victims, I've had famous cases, and I've had cases like Miss Leola's case that nobody's ever heard of but me. And they all have meant something to me. My first case was a shoplifting case where the guy did not steal anything. Don't worry, I got a conviction on attempted shoplifting. Okay, because I had to tell the jury, okay, I know he didn't steal anything, but he did cut the CD down off the rack with a knife and stick it down his crotch. So is that how you shop? Of course he was trying to steal. That's attempted shoplifting. That was my first conviction. See, I remember it for that. I remember my first bank robbery where the guy was dyslexic. He wrote, "Don't touch the Alram. This is a Roby." All right, I have that over my desk at crimeonline.com headquarters. So, you know, every case means something to me in a different way. But I can tell you this, the suffering that families go through after a murder, it often brings back what I went through when Keith was murdered. So it's very emotional for me, very difficult.
Yeah, it's pretty incredible how many of those cases that you remember to the detail. And of course, we remember the Casey Anthony case. It's one of those big names, but you have specifics.
Yeah.
So we have some more questions in the crowd.
Hi.
Hello.
I was just curious, since you're a mother, and yes, you want to stalk your children until they're in grad school, and I believe you will do that.
will.
But what advice would you give your children when they do become adults? Because we're living in a different age, and a lot of things are going on.
I already give them advice. I'm trying to brainwash them as much as possible. But I want them to be happy and be themselves, whatever that may be. Whether they're a veterinarian or a scientist or an inventor or a comedian or whatever it may be. I want them to follow their dream and be happy on this earth because none of the rest matters. Nobody's going to be remembered for their Vanguard account, okay, or their resume. You're going to be remembered for the battles you picked, win or lose, what you stood for, you know, so.
All right, we have another question.
Yep.
Hi. I know besides your cameo on the show, were you on set at all as a consultant or making any changes?
I executive produced the shows along with 2 other people and 3 other people. And yes, I go to the set and we take the idea. This one is Marriage Made for Murder. And we start at the beginning and we expand the idea and expand until we get it. Then we cast it, and we go through a lot of details to make it happen. And I love it. It's a lot of painstaking work. It's not all that glamorous. But neither is trying cases, neither is TV. If you're behind the scenes, you know. You know when it first hit me? I love Patsy Cline, the late, great Patsy Cline. And I went to some Hall of Fame thing somewhere, and I saw an outfit she wore. And when you see her singing it, she's so glamorous. And when I saw it, it was like nothing. It looked awful. So it's just like TV, movies, trying cases. You see it one way, but behind the scenes, it's completely different.
There's a lot more to the story.
Oh, yeah. You don't want to see the sausage get made, little boy.
Oh, well, Nancy, we are so delighted that you were able to spend your afternoon with us today. And
Didn't we have fun?
we had a good time. Got serious. We had fun. It was laughs and.
Although you do remind me of Mary Poppins in that outfit. When she went
I
out,
see the parasol.
park, in the parasol and all that. Yeah.
Oh, in the big bag. Well, we are so excited to have you here. And the first of the series already aired last Sunday. We have 2 more to go on the Hallmark Channel.
Yes, Sunday night, 9 o'clock Eastern, Hallmark Movies and Mysteries. There's 2 channels.
Yep.
Hallmark and Hallmark Movies and Mysteries. This is on Hallmark Movies and Mysteries.
All right, so don't miss it. Give it up one more time. Nancy Grace, everyone.
Thank you, guys.